Hello everyone, this is Navya, and this presentation explores early childhood cognitive development using two real life case studies. Liam, aged 4, and Zara, aged 5 and a half. I will compare their learning behaviors through the cognitive theories of Paget and Vygotsky, both of whom offer distinct but complementary perspectives on how children think, solve problems, and grow cognitively. Cognition refers to mental processes like thinking, reasoning, remembering, and problem solving. Cognitive development refers to the gradual changes in these processes over time. In this presentation, we will look at Liam, a 4-year-old curious and hands on learner, and Jara, a 5.5-year-old thoughtful and independent learner. Theories by Paget and Vygotsky provide powerful tools to explain how both children developed cognitively in different ways. This comparison also reflects the important role of culture, environment, and educator support. Now I am going to discuss about Paget's cognitive theory, which emphasizes stages of development where children actively construct knowledge through interaction with their environment. Liam is in the pre operational stage, which is 2 to 7 years, where children show signs of centration, egocentrism, and struggle with conservation. For example, Liam believed that the taller container had more water. He was centering his thinking on height alone, without considering its width. He also ignored Ava's perspective, showing egocentrism. However, through repeated experiments with water and sand, he started to observe differences in volume versus shape, which shows he is beginning to move toward conservation, a key milestone Paget noted occurs close to age 7. Now I am going to discuss about Vygotsky's cognitive theory. Vygotsky argued that learning is social and cultural and happens first between people, then internally. He introduced the concept of the zone of proximal development and emphasized the role of language, especially self talk, in cognitive growth. Jara's learning style fits this theory well. She often used quiet, rhythmic self talk during puzzles. Her statements like, "This tail looks like a monkey, maybe a lion," show her inner dialogue and problem solving process. Vygotsky viewed such self directed speech as a transition toward independent thinking. Jara's problem solving with ramps and her occasional Somali English switching further show how her cultural background and internal dialogue shaped her learning. Now I am going to discuss about executive functions and cognitive control. Beyond theories, both children demonstrated executive functions, key cognitive processes like working memory, flexible thinking, and self control. Zara showed sustained attention and emotional regulation when solving puzzles. Even when another child disturbed her work, she calmly rebuilt the puzzle and self narrated with persistence. Liam demonstrated cognitive flexibility. He revised his ideas about volume and measurement through experimentation and repetition. These executive functions are fundamental for success in learning environments. According to Blair, these skills are essential and can be improved through the thoughtful educational strategies. So, educators play a vital role in strengthening executive functions through open ended play, self guided learning, and emotional support. Role of educators in these two cases is also important. In Liam's case, the educator used developmental scaffolding, offering a stimulating environment without direct instructions. For example, during Ace-water play, the educator observed without correcting him. When Liam said, "This one has more, it's taller," the teacher didn't correct him, instead allowing him to keep experimenting. This responsive hands-off approach supports agency and independent discovery, both of which are essential in building scientific thinking. By using multiple materials like containers, sand, and blocks, the educator encouraged Liam to explore the concepts of volume, size, and comparison, which he did naturally through play and observation. This aligns with both Paget's constructivism and Vygotsky's zone of proximal development, as learning happened through interaction with the environment and occasional peer dialogue. Jara's educators created an emotionally safe and culturally responsive environment. They didn't interrupt her self talk, instead, they validated it by acknowledging it during group sharing. This subtle encouragement helped Jara gain confidence to speak aloud, even though she was often reserved in large groups. Her educators also supported her bilingualism, allowing Somali expressions during play, which is aligned with Vygotsky's emphasis on culture and language. These practices reflect EYLF outcomes 1, 4, and 5, which is building identity, communication, and confident learning. By comparing cognitive development in these two cases, both children showed strong cognitive growth, but their learning styles were different. Liam's learning was visual, kinesthetic, and experimental. He poured, built, and counted. Zara's learning was more reflective, verbal, and imaginative. She narrated puzzles and stories, often in quiet self dialogue. This reflects both Paget and Vygotsky. Liam moved through concrete experiences to discover concepts like volume and conservation, while Jara internalized knowledge through language and guided self dialogue. Together, they illustrate the diverse ways children construct knowledge. By contrasting educators' interventions in these two cases, the educator strategies also differed. For Liam, support was developmental scaffolding, minimal guidance, lots of materials, and encouragement to explore. This let him learn through trial and error. Jara received emotional and social scaffolding. Her self talk was recognized and her confidence was gently built through small group encouragement. This shows that scaffolding must be flexible and child specific. Educators must read the needs of the child, whether it's emotional safety, language validation, or cognitive challenge. Now I am going to discuss about implications for future practice. From these cases, we learned that educators must be intentional and responsive, and no single method fits all children. Educators must be understand each child's zone of proximal development and developmental stage. Encourage open-ended exploration using hands-on materials. Validate self-talk and storytelling. Build culturally inclusive, emotionally safe classrooms. Support executive function growth with purposeful play. This responsive and inclusive approach aligns with both Paget's and Vygotsky's theories and helps achieving EYLF learning outcomes. To conclude, both Paget and Vygotsky help us understand different aspects of childhood learning. Paget focuses on stages and the child's individual cognitive growth through play. Vygotsky focuses on the role of language, culture, and social interaction. Liam and Jara demonstrated both these aspects, Liam learned through manipulation and experimentation, while Jara learned through storytelling, self dialogue, and social support. As educators, we must embrace these diverse paths and provide environments that support all learners, ensuring every child can reach their full potential. Here the references that I used for my presentation. Thank you for listening to my presentation.